Okay, so I'm going to tell you that suicide is not what you think it is. Right. And they say you only get one life, right? You do. But in it, you die loads of times, right? To understand what suicide really is, right, to die, right, you need to understand a couple of things, right? So I'm going to tell you about them. Right. First of all, language is mixed up, right? And some things that you've been told mean one thing actually mean something else, right? I'll give you a really simple example. No. Well, no in German is 9. I think it's got 9. 9, the alpha in the alphabet, right? The alphabet is I, right? I is the 9th letter. I in Scottish means yes. So no can mean yes depending on the path that you take. To an observer of the world, right, who comes from somewhere else, who wants to learn about humans, right, you look and they've got so many different languages, things are all mixed up, right, so you try and understand, and that's getting to Babylon and things like that. I'm not going to get too biblical, but I am going to touch on it. But the main reason that I wanted to make this video is to show you the real suicide, the real way that you die in this rerun. Okay, now when I tell you these things, it's really important that you give yourself a little time, right, to think about how you want to use that information, right, so you don't, because it's emotionals, and emotions are the power, right, and your reaction, right, so you have the nuclear reactors, right, because the reaction of the emotions is extremely powerful, right. There's intelligent power as well, but think about a journey. When you're going to go on the journey, you can plan the journey, right, intelligently without moving. Plan your journey, but to make the journey happen, you need motion. So you've made the plan and your power, so the emotion, right? Alright, so this is suicide, right? This is, people are going to react to this when they start finding out that actually what they thought is something different. That's why you must give yourself time to reflect, right? Because I'm going to touch on porn. I'm going to talk about porn and suicide, right? In French, orgasm means to die a little, right? If you do your own research about there is videos on the sacred secretion, and it's your internal energy, right? And it's not a big stretch, well, to see how orgasm can spell organism, right? And it's what lives within you. So this, you've got P for Papa, the father, Papa's father, right? Or N for November, right? After translation, November leads to John. There's a big jump there. I've already done it. I don't want to make a really long video with all the details and translations of how we work things out. And it's the internal energy, right, that if you save, you keep coming back. It's control. You're here to learn how to have control over yourself and self-control over your reactions, right? But this is why this is pushed a lot, right, as technology's grown. Okay. For those who are interested in biblical things, porn is you don't have sex, right? It's not a sexual thing. It's masturbation. It's baiting the master, right? The father. If you're baiting someone, you're teasing them, right? So it's something that you is there but you can't touch. You can't have it, right? You're being teased. You're being baited. Right, that's why it's called masturbating, right? And it leads back to John, right, and Mary, right, and Mary teased John, and entertained him a little, and we couldn't touch her. John masturbated, and so that's why when Mary said, didn't have, there's no sex. How has this happened? There's been no sex. Technically, it was correct, but the greatest lies have, or lies are based in some sort of truth, right? Generally, but it's what's left out, right? So you might have said, I hadn't had sex, right? Technically, true, right? But it's what's left out, right? And if you can read things, then you can see the story, and it leads to pretty much the woman, the king who fancied the daughter. He was a king, as in he was the man in the area. He made things happen, right? And the mother, he fancied the daughter, and the mother said, right, tell you what, you king, he was a bit of a king, on John's head, because she found out that he'd been entertained by Mary. So it was John's wife. It's really something, once you understand. So there's the development of that. Now in this, you've got to, one thing I liked about 80s cartoons, right, is especially the He-Man, right, at the end of the cartoon, He-Man used to give you a little reflection time, right, he used to do the old story, the battle, things like that, and as well as Tila and She-Ra, anyway, right, used to give you some reflection and say, now remember, so you've got to learn to keep your energy. Don't overreact. If you're in a situation, have a think about how you want to deal with that. That takes a little time, and you don't always get it right first time. It's one of the many reasons why we're here, right? And why people keep coming back if they don't learn enough. But once your internal light, right, if it, okay, I'll go there, right, the candle, your wick, right, is totally depleted, right, you burn out, you burn the candle at both ends, right down to the bottom, and then you don't get lit again. Alright. So there's some big things to think about there. Yeah. So suicide is not when you leave, you come back unless you have all of your chances, all of your break. I'm not promoting leaving. I prefer to reflect, work things out, and find a new path. Right? You learn as much as you can while you're here. Give yourself time, give yourself some support, and learn while you're here. So that's why the emotional reaction is important in this, because when you learn some deep truths, it gets emotional, and to not overreact, because with an overreaction, there's a risk of making things worse. So yeah, so that's what you need to think about it.